Welcome to the Middle of the Road podcast. My name is Cam Gillens, and along for the ride, like always, my good buddy Andrew McCormick.
What's up?
Tonight we're gonna talk about our favorite road trips and then see where that takes us. We'll even get into our dream road trips and then maybe some of our dream events that we want to attend or want to do, be a part of, whatever. We'll get into that. And whatever else we figure out talking on the way there, because we tend to get on some tangents like the hour and a half before our recording here.
Yeah.
Which hopefully will be put up on YouTube pretty quick. So, All right, I'll start us off. So over the years, I've gone through with family or just whatever to a few events that has made me go on some of my favorite road trips that we've ever done. The big one I want to talk about is the time that my brother decided to, on a month or two whim, to go try the Parker 200 on his big dirt bike. And so this is the first, typically it's the first race the Best in the Desert series, which is the big off-road series that takes year round in Nevada and a couple dates around like in Arizona and stuff like that. I mean, some big events that's in the Best in the Desert is the Mint 400 and also the Vegas to Reno. And like I said, this Parker is in Parker, Arizona, next to the Lake Havasu. And it was one of my favorite trips that we've ever done, even though it was practically drive 12 hours, get there, spend the night, and then sat there for 4 hours while my brother is off playing badass on an old 1980s Yamaha dirt bike up against these brand new machines. So my brother is maybe 120 pounds soaking wet, and him trying to manhandle this bike that's maybe 3 or 4 times his weight while getting in mud and dirt and whatever was thrown at him during that time. It's just such a badass experience. One that I've always wanted to head back over there to Parker, Arizona, just because the scenery is beautiful. I know, and like I said, I wasn't planning on telling this, but once again, in one of those tangents we were talking about, every year, Parker is known to be one of the best spots for like drag boats. They have an outlaw drag boat race right about my birthday, to tell you the truth, that it's pretty much run what you brought. And I think it'd be so cool to go out there and watch some of these gnarly ass boats. Stuff that like boats. When I first saw this was on Mike Finnegan of Roadkill's fame on his channel on YouTube. He was showing his twin turbo hella badass drag boats, and he took it to Parker and put it on the lake and stuff like that, and showed some cool ass boats. One that actually had a Cummins in it. It was that was an interesting one, because as people that's played with boats know, it's one speed.
Pretty much.
Mostly boats is one speed, and you just rev the hell out of them based on whatever your prop size in the back. Acts more like your rear end gear in your car. Well, and being a diesel, you can't rev the hell out of them. They only go 3,500s at very top.
They vary between all of them. Mine's 45. I think Duramax is around 55. Cummins is definitely way lower.
Yeah.
It's like 2, maybe 3.
Yeah.
It's not very high.
So well, and that was what was cool about it, is the combat that they actually put a transmission behind it to run, so you can do cool different speeds.
Yeah,
on a boat. I think it's really badass.
I wonder what that would feel like.
I know. I think it feel like a car. Just you go driving around, then all of a sudden you just get
Shifts.
on it, and then it shifts and it goes back. Then you get back on it just like a regular car. But I'm sure that resistance that the water gives you around the boats and stuff like that is a completely different feeling than
Yeah.
your tires on the road.
Man, I'd hate for that to downshift at the wrong time.
Oh, dude, hits one of those huge wakes,
Uh-huh.
and it just I'm sure it feel very weird.
Downshift right when you get to it, just suck the nose right in the water.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that would kind of suck.
That would suck. Um, and like I said, it's just one of those cool trips that you go through Vegas and you go the opposite way to Arizona and stuff like that. Just the terrain and everything around there is so killer.
Yeah.
I want to, and like I said, I wish we would have had the time to spend more out there because it's practically turn and burn. After he raced, we legitimately got back on the road and came home because we all had to work and we really didn't get the time to actually soak it all in and stuff like that. And that's something I would love to go back for like a weekend,
Yeah.
maybe a full week, to tell you the truth, and maybe take my four-wheeler and maybe rent a side-by-side or two or something like that. I think it'd be really killer.
Yeah. Anytime you can spend more time on vacation is way better.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's something I want to do pretty quick.
Yeah.
Like I said, me and Andrews talked about trying to get somewhere and go and stuff like that.
I actually like our idea. I
Which one?
I really want to do it. The really cheap car.
Oh,
See how far we can make it.
mhm.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah. So the stuff, like I said, another tangent. We've kind of talked about the last couple of weeks is something I would love to do to put on our YouTube channel that's coming pretty quick. I'd like to go get like a $500 to $1,000 car, make sure it runs, and then see what we can do, how far we can take it, and then if it blows it up, blow it up. At that point, it'd just be fun just to go for the ride.
Yeah, just the
and see what
adventure.
the adventure of it.
Yeah, doesn't matter where we go. See how far we
Nope.
can get.
Just see how far we can get, and if it's last, then we'll put it through hell. But
Yeah.
that's
Yeah, I think that'd be kind of cool. See how far we can keep it going.
that'd be really fun.
Just little shitty tricks we can keep it running.
Mm-hmm.
Just drive it until it dies.
Drive it till it dies, and try to keep it from dying.
Mm-hmm.
Because like we talked about, some of the ones we've looked at had rod knocks and stuff like that in, and I was like, see how bad it is. We'll pull a dipstick, see how much oil is actually in it, and put some 60 weight in it, and see how long they'll give us.
Yep. See how far we can make it.
Mm-hmm.
Share some tips and tricks, and like if you got a rod knock, pour this in it. See how far you can go.
Yeah, well, and that's what I'm saying. To put some 60 weight in it, and maybe that'll take up some of the clearances and the bearings and stuff like that.
Maybe.
I've seen it.
We'll
I've
have
seen
to
it
do it
happen.
to try. We'll have to do it.
So there's one of
those things.
some tricks, and another one is putting power steering stop leak in a clutch master cylinder. There's another crazy trick that I put out there. I don't know. Can you remember? I know we've talked about this story, but did I say this on the podcast?
Which one?
About the Jeep that we had that we did that to?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, if I did, I apologize, but we're going to say it again just because it's in the moment. It's in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So it was, I think it was when I was a senior in high school. My parents had an old 92 Jeep Wrangler that was manual with a 4.0 in it. And it's actually the second vehicle I've ever actually drove the manual transmission in it. It was a little different. It's pretty old school and the way it felt and stuff like that. And then one day we were just driving in town and the clutch went straight to the floor.
Oh shit.
And so my dad was playing with it and decided that the master cylinder was internally leaking. So it wouldn't build pressure and stuff like that. And since we were playing with stuff, I can't remember what it was. It might have been his gold Jeep, but we had some Lucas Oil power steering stop leak just in the garage. He's like, well, shit, let's give this a shot. And he puts it in it, and they end up selling it with it. And he sold it to a guy. He drove it to Texas. Yes, he drove it all the way to Texas with that stop leak in the master cylinder. And for whatever reason, I think he called on a part that we supposedly still had for it like a year or two later. And from what we know, he didn't know anything was wrong. It was still going with that stop leak in it.
Yep.
So there you go.
If it works, it
Lucas
works.
Oil, your shit works.
Yeah, I like Lucas Oil. It's good stuff.
All I run in my drag truck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So there's my tangent for tonight. Andrew, what you got? What's your most memorable?
Well, actually, it's one of my most recent road trips that I ever did. Mm-hmm. Me and the family went to Grand Canyon, and my buddy and his son went, and it was a trip not just to the Grand Canyon. It was more just a drive to see everything to the Grand Canyon. And it definitely was about the journey, not the destination, except for the destination was pretty badass.
Yeah.
But yeah, I used my truck and we hauled our camper, and he had an in-bed camper. My buddy did in his Toyota. And we stayed at campgrounds all the way down. And it was just an amazing trip. We took a back road. Probably should have taken my truck and camper down it because we really didn't fit anywhere. I didn't see a semi or anything of that size on that road that whole trip. And the canyon walls were just right there. It was a 2-lane through. Oh, I can't even remember. But man, it was beautiful. And I remember thinking the whole trip, I was like, man, I really hope that if we're going to do this, the Grand Canyon is going to blow my mind. I've never seen it. Never seen the Grand Canyon before. Just pictures, hearsay, and all that, you know?
Yeah.
Well, we came across the top of this, coming out of that canyon that I was talking about, that was just right there, everything. And we popped over the top of this hill, and just the view from the top of this hill was incredible. There was these big, tall rocks way out in the distance and just flat forever. And you could see the edge of the Grand Canyon. It wasn't really like a major, like they talk about the Grand Canyon, a big, deep hole. It was just little cracks leading out to it. And I was like, holy shit, if this is anything, if the Grand Canyon is anything like this, it'll be badass. And then we ended up going through Lake Mead and all that, which was really cool. We didn't really stop there for very long. We stopped on a bridge, looked over the edge. That was fun. We ended up in Williams, which is on Route 66. And I didn't catch that until we went to this museum. And the dude's like, oh, this has been here since the beginning of Route 66. And I was like, we're on Route 66? So that was like an additive to the whole journey.
Oh, I'm sure.
And we bought all kinds of Route 66 memorabilia. And we stopped at everything that was like Route 66 specific that had been there forever. Like this old drive-in diner thing that had the best hot dogs ever. Awesome burgers. The whole town was just Route 66. There was museums everywhere. And we stayed at a KOA right outside of that. It was about 30 minutes outside of it, but closer to the Grand Canyon. And then my buddy bought a guided tour on side-by-sides. It was hell, but at the same time, it was kind of cool going through the desert to the Grand Canyon.
Oh, I'm sure.
It was just the dust, though. The dust was so bad.
Oh.
It was awful.
I bet. I've driven in like at Moab and stuff like that in Jeeps, and just the dirt. Well, not only that, but when I was dirt tracking, getting the dirt everywhere. I just can't imagine on a guided tour like that with side by sides.
And we were off road for over 3.5 hours. And the dude that was guiding the tour, he had people that apparently before when they did the tour would get lost. And it's like, it's only it's a one road that you got to follow. There's a couple turns, but nothing major. And he's like, you got to stay right with me. You got to stay right with me. Well, he was in front, and it was me, and then my buddy behind me. We had a 4-seater General, and he had a 2-seater. You had to back off. I couldn't even
Mhm.
see the road in front of me. Just the dust was so bad. That'd be the only
Mhm.
complaint that I had, but it was just the whole trip. And then there we got to this
Mhm.
place where we pulled over to take a break, and everybody's just head to toe covered in dust.
Oh, I bet.
Everybody's still having a blast though, and it's probably 150 degrees outside.
Oh,
It was
I
so
bet.
hot.
Hmm.
And we got to this place where we stopped, and there was this really big tower that you could climb. And I'm a big
Hmm.
guy. I don't like trusting my life to really thin sheets of metal. But
Hmm.
just for the adventure, my daughter wanted to go up and look, and I was like, all right, let's go. We got
Hmm.
we got all the way to the top of the damn thing, and the door was locked to get to the very top. So we're all
Hmm.
just standing there, and I remember turning around, and you could see the Grand Canyon from this tower.
Hmm.
And from that moment on, my mind was just completely blown. Like I have a
Hmm.
panoramic picture that I took, and you could just see down into the Grand Canyon, kind of from where we were. There's all kinds of
Hmm.
trees. It was amazing. And then we get to the Grand Canyon, and he takes us to the spot where they supplied lunch and stuff, which was really cool. It was like
Hmm.
$2,000 to do this tour,
Hmm.
and we ate dinner. We ate lunch on the edge of the Grand Canyon, like 10 feet from the edge of it.
Hmm.
It was a badass trip, and the Grand Canyon definitely blew my mind.
Yeah.
It was amazing. And then
Hmm.
we found out we went to Jerome, which, if you can do that, is Jerome, Arizona, the most
Hmm.
haunted town, supposedly. We did a guided
Hmm.
tour for the haunted stuff. That was badass. We went there like 9
Hmm.
o'clock at night, rode in this van,
Hmm.
and they took us to all the haunted things. But because COVID, we couldn't go inside, which
Hmm.
was all right because
Hmm.
it was creepy as shit from outside. And they
Oh, I
took us
bet.
to the Jerome graveyard. Oh,
Hmm.
that was just an amazing trip. And then from there, we decided, oh, well, this whole trip was like a week and a half.
Hmm.
We went from the Grand Canyon, we took off, and everybody wanted to go to Area 51 because I did that video on YouTube.
Hmm.
And I was like, I don't remember there being bugs or stars. And
Hmm.
we're like, okay, well, we got plenty of time. We'll cruise through that way. We'll stop in Windover and have adult time, because we had kids with us.
Hmm.
Well,
Hmm.
we get to Area 51. There are stars and there are bugs. And it was
Hmm.
hot. Oh, God, it was so hot. It was hot everywhere.
Hmm.
Yeah, that trip it was incredible all
Hmm.
around. I would do it again just to do all of that again.
Hmm.
And I want to go stay at that, the Cavern Inn, which is a cave that's like 250 feet below ground. And you
Hmm.
stay inside the cave. They have like a motel room down there. That'll
That's
be what I
crazy.
do next. So that was
Hmm.
like, it was just a spur of the moment trip too.
Hmm.
My buddy bought his camper and I wanted to go on a road trip. So I was like, why not? Let's just go do it.
Hmm.
We literally loaded up, packed everything up, and just took off. And then
Hmm.
once that trip was over, we decided to go to Thermopolis to take a vacation
Hmm.
because we were setting up the
That's.
camper at everywhere. And
Hmm.
I highly suggest if you're going to do a vacation, you have a post vacation
Hmm.
in Thermopolis because we sat in those hot tubs and just chilled. For like,
Hmm.
we stayed for another week there, and my
Hmm.
buddy had to come back because his son had to go to school. But
Hmm.
yeah, I highly suggest if you're going to do a big vacation like that, you do a post vacation that's nothing but
Hmm.
straight relaxing
Hmm.
because that was a blast. That's my
Hmm.
favorite road trip of all time.
Hmm.
I mean, I have road trips from when I was younger with my grandparents going to Missouri,
Hmm.
but I can only remember little bits of that because I was so young.
Yeah,
Though there's one thing that I do remember. I'm pretty sure we drove an old Oldsmobile through a tornado. I
that's
was
pretty rad.
probably 8 years old.
Hmm.
And my uncle was driving, my grandpa was in the front seat, and me and my grandma were in the back seat. And I was just
Hmm.
about to fall asleep, and then all of a sudden, you just feel the car lift up off the ground and set us in the other lane. And my uncle
Hmm.
swerved back, and he's like, "What the hell was that? Was it a huge wind gust?" Those old cars are boats, so
Oh yeah.
anything acts on the outside of him, you'll switch
Hmm.
lanes.
Hmm.
But yeah, it was. I'm pretty sure, thinking about it, we drove through a tornado. But
That's
yeah,
awesome.
all kinds of road trips to Missouri.
Hmm. Well,
Yeah.
it's you're talking about that old boat of a
Mm.
car and stuff like that. I was like, that's one of my dreams. You kind of hit both sides of it. It's actually right there. About I would love to get something like that and then, like you said, go just do the whole Route 66 thing.
Oh yeah, yeah. I bought a license plate. It's actually hanging up on the wall right there that shows all of the Route 66.
Hmm.
I would love to do the Route 66 stuff.
I would say I would love to do that. More likely, it probably would be just maybe just drive down there as close as you can and then rent like a Camaro or something like
Yeah.
that just to go do it.
I would want like an old boat car.
See
Something from
if
that era.
see that's me. If I could find something like that just specifically for that trip.
Yeah.
If you just to get all in that mentality state of what it would the old school ways of Route 66, I think
Yeah.
it'd be so rad.
Just stick to the whole route and just experience everything that's on it.
Yes.
I mean, we
yes.
accidentally. I had no idea that we were going to be even anywhere near Route 66.
Mhm.
I didn't even think about it. And then when we walked in, and that dude's like, "Oh, this was the original Route 66 gas station, and my family's owned it this whole time." And it's like, I am on Route 66. I went back to the camper, and I was like, "Holy shit, Route 66 is right there, and we're on it."
Yeah.
I drove into that town on Route 66 and didn't even notice.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But we went there for the Grand Canyon.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just the extra little bits of the trip, like going to Jerome. Oh, God.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. And the views
Mm-hmm.
all the way down were just... My
Mm-hmm.
mind was blown from the minute we peeked over the top of that to
Mm-hmm.
the end.
Mm-hmm.
Those are what road trips should be.
No, that's exactly it.
It should be amazing.
They should be amazing and just be able to soak everything in
Yeah.
experience wise, and that's what that's all about. And that's why
I think that was my favorite part is we weren't in a rush.
Yeah.
Like you said,
And
you guys had to come back to go to work. We didn't.
But that's just how we have always done it. And like I said, we did that. Me and my brother, we built this flat track Harley a couple of years back. But so what happened? So the story behind that is just for whatever reason started watching American Flat Track on YouTube and on television, and just saw it was so badass and how iconic that type of shit was. And I've always loved Harleys. I loved when my brother had his old sporty when he bought brand new up in Rock Springs.
Yeah.
Because Rock Springs was the only dealership that would allow a 19-year-old to go out and buy a brand new sporty. He checked, like, there's, I think, 5 around where I live, or between here and like Logan and stuff like that. Between Provo and Logan, there's like 5 different dealerships. Rock Springs / Green River, Flaming Gorge was the only one that would deal with him.
Yeah, I worked there for a little while.
Yeah,
they were really cool dudes.
And they are really cool dudes. And like I said, I just love that bike. And for whatever reason, we started looking. We were at a music festival in Gillette, Wyoming, and I saw it on Facebook. And I told my brother was on his way there, and I told him, it's like, if you stop again, I'll pay for it. So he stopped and it was legitimately a frame with an engine, and then with the huge king and queen seats that was just thrown at the back of it. The gas tank was gone. All the wiring was ratted. Just like the horror that you see just getting shit. Bikes and cars and stuff like that. So we got it here. We just did some research. We had the damn thing running in a month. Legitimately driving and had suspension on it for flat track in a month. And so we did that. I was living in Rock Springs at the time, is when we were hanging around. Because it's like maybe 5 months before I moved down here. And so we got to put that together. Me and him did, I think, 3 trips to Denver to race it. The one was a turn and burn, a 12-hour turn and burn. Oh my God.
Oh, wow.
We went there. It's about, what? I'm trying to think. 6 hours to Denver from Rock Springs.
Yeah, about that.
So, yeah. So we did that. We got there. We dropped the bike, put it on the track. We did the full events. We turned around, put gas in the truck, and drove all the way home. We didn't get home until 4:00 in the next morning.
Jeez.
Just turned and burned.
Those are fun too sometimes, though.
Oh, dude.
Yep. It
was crazy. I mean, it's just those experiences. I mean, we got there. We had enough time. We kind of drove around. We saw just in about the suburbs of Denver and all that. There, we were just driving around between Fort Collins and Denver.
Mm.
A guy had some bonsai trees selling on the side of the road, and we both look at each other. We're like, oh, we didn't have any room in a truck because we had all the gear and stuff like that. We're like, oh, how cool it would be just to come back with a little bonsai tree.
Yeah.
Just kind of set the tone of how to feel and stuff like that of the trip.
Mm-hmm.
But we didn't get one. I actually yesterday I was down here, I was driving and saw another guy trying to sell bonsai trees.
Yeah,
I thought it was pretty cool. But
it's awesome.
but through that time, that Harley, we always had trouble with it being too lean. And I actually got a jet kit. We never got the chance to swap the jets out and make sure, but before we end up selling it. But sometimes, as you can see, my road trips have been consistent around trying to play hero with bikes and race cars and stuff like that.
Yep.
It just kind of adds to the experience and stuff like that.
I like that mine are accidentally
I know.
Nostalgic automotive stuff.
Yeah.
It's just, it draws me to it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I love cars. It's obvious. I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't.
Oh yeah, same here.
But I don't know. I think my dream, I know we're going to talk about that too.
Mm-hmm.
I think my dream would be, I mean, it sounds weird, but I want to get I was talking to Tracy about this a long time ago, and there's this haunted scenic route in Georgia. I wanted to get some Porsches.
Oh yeah.
Do the haunted road trip in Porsches and go do all the haunted houses.
It's be kind of cool to get like a film crew that can film like old style, kind of creepy, just these Porsches just kind of creeping in the backdrop of all these old creepy places.
Well, I want to go in.
I know.
I'm that kind of adventure. I like scary stuff. We were going to do some scary stuff in Vegas, but because of COVID, everything was shut down.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the funniest thing. Everybody said, oh, you can't do a road trip like that because COVID. COVID's got everything shut down. I was okay, well, we're not doing hotels, we're doing our campers. Other than one place that we went, it was like COVID wasn't even happening. And it was right in the middle of everything becoming huge. Right at the beginning, you know? And that was why my daughter was out of school for so long, capable of doing it, you know? And I'm glad I didn't listen to anybody when they said, oh, COVID's going to have you shut down. You won't be able to do shit. We did everything.
Well, that's just it. This could hell of a tangent here, but talk about that. And that's just it. Is it get to the point where you could either let that control you or just say the hell with it. Go like you had your family just with the hell and had some crazy,
amazing,
memorable times. Yeah.
Yep. We said hell with it. We'll go where we can go. We have masks. If we have to use masks, we'll use them. Never once did I have to. I mean, there were everywhere that we went. They said masks not required. Masks not required, but we would appreciate if you use them.
Yeah.
No, not even the people inside were using them. So we're like, we're not going to do it either.
No.
There was one restaurant we wanted to go to that was shut down because of COVID, but that's on them. Everywhere else we went, everyone was cool. I mean, we didn't have to deal with motels either. That could have been the downer. But
oh yeah.
If I can, I'll hold my camper anywhere. That was just amazing. Cheap. Like usually you spend a fortune on places to stay. And we spent $25 a night, and we had our camper. You didn't have to pack your clothes inside or anything. It was yours. It was great. My buddy was always parked right next to us. We met some really cool people. Seen some badass cars. Like this one dude had a souped up Can-Am. That thing was insane. It was so quiet until he got on it.
Like Slingshot?
No, it was a Can-Am, like just like a side-by-side 4-seater Can-Am.
Oh, okay.
And he pulled it out of the back of his toy hauler camper right next to us. And when he was pulling it out, I was like, it had NOS bottles and shit on the rails. And I was like, that is a badass Can-Am. You've
seen the video of that one they put a 2J behind, right? I've seen the 2J one and I've seen the LS one too.
Oof. Yeah, this was a regular Can-Am, but it was definitely souped up.
Hmm.
It was crazy sounding too when he got on it.
I'll have to send you that video.
Yeah.
But I said my uncle, he had a couple buddies that were putting Habusas in sandrails with NOS on them.
Jesus.
I just can't imagine that. I mean, just the low end torque that 2J or not 2J, the Hayabusa has, and on spray, it'd be crazy.
Oh man, be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be another dream road trip. Just go drive badass cars all over the world.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be and that's I've I've often thought about. I mean, my parents have gone in NASCAR twice a year to Vegas the last 5 years, and before then they went to the regular once a year for about 20 years.
Wow.
And the older I've gotten, I've only been once, and that was my senior year in high school, and I keep wanting to go back. And at the same time, I'm like, what's stopping me from trying to get to actually paying the money for the experience to actually get in one of those cars to take the full track?
Oh man, that would be insane.
So that's another thing I kind of want to do. But at the same time, I know if I put my foot in the door right there, I might want to go the full way and actually get to drive one.
Yep. Who wouldn't? That would be badass.
I would spend the money, even if it's once a year, just to gently every year get better to the point where I don't even have to have an instructor and just go out there and just rail on it once a year or whatever. It'd be so killer.
Oh, yeah. We are looking for sponsors.
We are looking for sponsors.
Anybody who wants to sponsor us doing crazy shit?
We've got some crazy shit that we want to do.
Yeah. We can guarantee no return on your investment. Maybe it might turn out good.
I don't know. I think you'd enjoy just watching us.
Yeah. Oh, we'll definitely do some crazy shit.
And we'll definitely advertise your services.
For sure.
While we're doing crazy shit.
Hell yeah. Because we got all kinds of crazy plans.
Yeah, we've got some crazy ideas.
We're gonna do it one way or another.
We'll figure something out, even if it's just gently getting into something or go on with that. And that's kind of another thing that I wanted to talk about tonight. That I kind of outlined at the first of the show is kind of our dream events that we kind of want to partake in. And I've got a few that I've said once or twice that I want to do drag week or any of their style of drag and drive events. That's like top of the line for me. But I would love to go watch Pikes Peak or I would love to go Pikes Peak just to take it in, see all these crazy builds going up that mountain.
Yeah.
I mean, just technological feat it takes to actually get up that mountain. How high it is. I've heard you lose like 3/4 of your horsepower because it gets so. That's why Ken had to put twin turbos on the Unicorn. Because that version 1 was 800 horsepower, basically a NASCAR engine in it. It was a Roush Yates engine. I don't know if it was NASCAR design. I can't remember if it was for that or it was a 410. So it was a sprint car engine. That's what it was. I think at the time Von Gittin was putting the exact same engine in his Drift Mustangs. But yeah, that's why he had to do what he wanted to do, because he would lose 3/4 being especially naturally aspirated power.
Yeah.
It was, you get up to that mountain, it's pretty much coughing, trying to get air through.
Turbos help that.
No, turbos definitely help that.
Yeah, I want to do events like that too.
See, that's where I got that. We've talked about actually, and there's a couple of little ones that me and my brothers kind of want to actually build something and go do. Do that type of thing, and just stuff like that is where I'm into. I would love to go to intake the actual experience of all these big racing events like the Daytona 500 or 24 hours of Daytona would be really fun. I think spending the night and watching racing in the infield all night, I think it'd be pretty crazy.
Hell yeah.
Doing that, and then a couple like the big F1 race, one of the big F1 races in America. Now that there's going to be three, see that might be something I push for next year is to go watch the new one in Vegas that's coming next year.
That would be badass.
It'd be cool. From what I've seen, I don't know if it'd be quite like the old school when they would run practically in Caesar's Palace's parking lot. From what I've seen, it's actually going to be on the strip.
No,
so it'll be actually really rad. I think just to see. I don't know. I've kind of heard it might be an actual night race too. So just imagine at the side of the road, watch either from the paddock or above on one of the skywalks. Just watching Formula One cars and all these neon lights from on the strip. Just man. The ambiance and the look of that would be so fantastic.
Yeah, I love Vegas.
Mm.
It's heaven on earth.
Yeah. Oh, it could be heaven or it could be hell.
Yeah.
I've seen both ways.
Yeah. One man's heaven is another man's hell.
Well, I that is absolutely true. Luckily, every time I've been there, I actually had a reason to be there, and it's always been a great time.
Yeah. I want to do 4x4 events. I like off-roading a lot. Do some Moab. Would love to do the Baja 1000.
Oh, dude. Yeah. I mean, me and my brothers even talked about doing the stock Beetle class. That's another right there at the top of the bucket list that we would love to do.
Yep.
Is do the stock bug class.
Yeah, I'm a major off-road fan. Love four-wheeling.
Mm-hmm. See, and that's not. I mean, we were talking about Parker earlier, and I kind of wanted to go back to do that too.
Mm-hmm.
If it's on my four-wheeler that I have, or even side by side, be pretty fun too.
Yeah. We do a big adventure off-road. I think that'd be pretty badass.
Mm-hmm.
Do an off-road adventure to Alaska. That'd be kind of cool.
Shit's crazy.
Now we're getting insane.
Now we're getting there. Yeah. I've seen videos and people doing that, and that shit's crazy.
Yeah. I could do it. I can survive. I will survive.
I mean, they're one of my favorite Top Gears. That special they were up to.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't Alaska. It was that Antarctica?
Yeah, it was. They did that volcano. It was Iceland. Greenland.
No,
it was Greenland, wasn't it?
No, I don't know. It was shit. I have it on DVD. It's like one of my all-time favorite specials that they did. They took the Hiluxes, the really rad Hiluxes, and just went out there and went through all those icebergs and stuff with them.
Oh, yeah, I don't remember that one. I'll have to look at it again.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to probably pull it up after we're done.
Yeah, I love the Grand Tour specials.
Mm-hmm.
Top Gear, any of it, all the specials were badass. That's kind of where I got my dreams of doing that.
Grand Tour is all right.
I love.
You can't get any better than old school Top Gear. I don't care who you are.
Yeah,
that shit was awesome.
It was the three guys. They're what made it amazing. That's why I like Grand Tour too.
And it's kind of funny that I started watching Top Gear when I was like sophomore and freshman in high school, and I told people I'd watch it. They would just laugh at me. They're like, "Oh, those British dudes!" And then 5 years later, everyone's watching
it. They
were making fun of me, and now it's the cool thing. And it seems like every person car nut I came across after that just loved it.
It was you and Tracy in college that got me into it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know it existed. And we'd always sit right before class would start, and he'd watch it on YouTube. We
Mhm.
watched them destroying the Hilux and shit like that. And then I came home and I was like, I
Mhm.
gotta find this Top Gear. That shit's
Yeah.
interesting as shit. And you were always talking about it, and I was like, all right. And then I just got into it, and I love it.
No, so that was me. I just came across it when I was in middle school to high school, and I just absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
Not only, I mean, they were doing badass shit with cars, but just those guys, the chemistry between those
Yeah.
three guys is
It's
the
awesome.
best. It's just the best.
Yep. Yeah. If you haven't watched it, I'm telling you,
Mhm.
no time like the present to get into it. Except you can't find
Nope.
Top Gear anywhere.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, you gotta pay for it.
Is it Motor Trend, Amazon? I think all of them's got most of them.
Oh, they have the subscriptions on there?
I think I don't know if it's subscriptions. I thought if you were Motor Trend, but you got all of them.
I'll have to
And I
look into
think
that.
I think Amazon has most of them too, since
Grand
at least
Tour.
the ones they're on because of the Grand Tour.
Yep. Yeah, I haven't. I looked for it the one day, and everything that I find, it's the American Top Gear, which is decent, but you can't find
I
the
can't
old school.
I can't even try to watch the new USA Top Gear.
I
Just
haven't got into the new Top
the
Gears.
other three were just so good.
Yep. I couldn't get into the British Top Gear, the new one.
No,
Even
I
though they
couldn't
have
either.
Matt LeBlanc and shit,
After those three left, I hadn't
Yep.
even given it a try because I knew it wasn't going to be the same.
Yep. I'm glad they brought out Grand Tour though,
Mm-hmm.
because they basically just picked up with Amazon funding.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was great. That is the dream to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be amazing.
It would be the dream. And obviously, um, I mean, yeah, if you had the money to do that, it'd be fun as hell.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like I want to do something like cheap car type of. That's what we were kind of talking about,
Yep.
the road trips, and then, like I was telling him, I want to find some land, buy some land, or find someone that will allow us to use some. And after just these long trips, just do like a autocross, rallycross track in there, and just beat the living hell out of it.
Yep. I think
See
it'd be
how
fun.
long it's
Get a whole bunch of
until
guys in with a whole bunch of shitty little cars and do like a rallycross event.
until it blows the rods out of the side of the block.
Yeah. Run it till it's dead.
That's the dream.
Yeah, for sure.
So if anyone out there wants to give us some money and sponsor us, so we can do this type of a thing,
We promise some good results.
we do promise some good results.
Yep. For sure.
Mm-hmm.
And we got pretty good chemistry. We get a third person that we could bag on, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It needs the qualifications, social media, computers.
Yeah,
We're getting by, kinda.
kind of. Yeah.
We're making it work.
Oh, we'll make it work.
Make it till you make it.
Make it. Make it. That's definitely what we're doing here.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, that's all I got. That's all I got for tonight.
He's pretty good.
Yeah. All right. I hope you guys liked our randomness that happened tonight. It's something that we've kind of talked about doing. We just love doing shit with cars. If it's road trips or just go bang our brains in and mechanics of the engines and other cars and doing it. It's just a riot.
Yep. It's definitely a pleasure doing it.
Yep. And we'll put some content on there as much as we can doing this type of a thing and have some fun at it. And hope you guys come along with the ride with us.
Yep. And you'll be able to find this video on No Credit Required on YouTube.
Yes. So yeah, we alluded to YouTube channel. So from now on, we're going to start doing some videos and stuff like that. If it's just us doing video records of our podcast or even some live streams and some actual crazy projects Oh, that's gonna be creepy in the
You
video.
got a ghost behind you, bro. Game over,
Damn
man.
dog. Damn dog.
Holy shit! I watched that door open. I was like, "Oh shit! This is where Cam dies."
Anyway, so yeah, the No Credit Required is our YouTube channel
Mhm.
that we started a couple of years back. They said we put out a couple videos
Yeah.
before. Andrew doing some of his stuff
Gaming.
going to Area 51, gaming.
Yeah, it's kind of a channel
Going
where
to-
we can just put our craziness up.
Yes, that was the whole thing of that channel. Is we started it's to just start messing around videos and now podcasts and
Yep.
just stuff, anything that we felt like doing, just for the hell of it.
Yeah. If you're ever bored, it's definitely not a one niche channel. There's not
No.
one thing on there. There's
No,
our shitty little videos, Area 51 that we did at the beginning. A bunch of gaming videos that I do just to keep the channel alive on YouTube. Funny videos. It's all got all kinds of stuff.
yeah. There's a video in there where we got drunk off our asses and just
Oh,
had a hell of
yeah.
a time.
Yep.
So if you're into that type of thing, definitely go give that a view.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That was a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of entertaining stuff on there.
I think that was the most tipsy I've been in a long time.
Well, that was a very powerful alcohol too that we drank.
Oh, yes, it was.
Brown
Yes, it was.
XR. Ooh. And we drank that shit
Some
straight.
Some rare, I know.
I still have it.
You still have
I
it?
still have it. From
How
what
much
we
left do you got?
what we drank that is left.
That's crazy.
Yep, what we had left. It's still there. It's actually sitting right there.
That's funny.
Yeah.
We might have to kill it one of these days.
Yeah. I said I was saving that for a special thing in that video, and it's
Mhm.
still true.
Anyway, thanks for giving us a listen or watching whatever you're doing, and hopefully you keep doing it. And like I said, if you guys feel like keeping up with us on all the stuff that we do, no credit required, no spaces on YouTube.
Mhm.
And like I said, I'm gonna start putting some of the stuff that I'm doing with my Camaro. And within the next month or two, I probably gotta start doing stuff with my drag truck again. But I'm gonna post up on there, and maybe sooner or later, we'll go do some other stuff. We'll film for you and put it up on there. So
Oh, yeah, definitely keeping you guys entertained.
yeah, we'll get you there.
Hmm.
So, all right, this has been Middle of the Road podcast. I hope you have a good evening or good day, whatever you listen to this. And thank you.
Thank you.